Picture this, it's a warm, nostalgic evening, and you find yourself perched on the edge of your living room couch, bathed in the soft glow of a vintage television set. The year is 1954, and there, on the screen, is a family you've never met before, the Andersons. A father who always seems to have the perfect answer, a loving mother with a heartwarming smile, and their 3 children, each with their unique quirks. This, my friend, is your first encounter with the timeless TV series, Father Knows Best. As you sit there, lost in the black and white world of Springfield, you can't help but feel a sense of connection. The Andersons' struggles and triumphs mirror your own, and you find solace in their simplicity. It's a show that doesn't just entertain, but also teaches valuable life lessons. You remember the laughter, the tears, and the moments that stayed with you long after the credits rolled. But here's the twist. Did you know that behind the scenes, there were fascinating facts and anecdotes that made Father Knows Best even more captivating? Let's delve into the untold stories, surprising trivia, and the lasting impact of this beloved series. Father Knows Best, a beloved American TV series that aired from 1954 to 1960, originated on radio in the 1940s before transitioning to the small screen. The show revolved around the Anderson family, led by the affable patriarch Jim Anderson, portrayed by Robert Young, and his loving wife Margaret, played by Jane Wyatt. Their 3 children, Betty, Bud, and Kathy, brought humor and relatability to the series. What set Father Knows Best apart was its wholesome, idealized portrayal of suburban family life in post-World War II America. The show's unique style lay in its ability to tackle common family issues and moral dilemmas with warmth and humor, often with Jim offering sage advice to his children. Hence the title. It struck a chord with audiences, becoming a cultural touchstone of its era. The iconic characters, including the wise and compassionate Jim and the caring but strong-willed Margaret, became enduring symbols of American family values. Father Knows Best left a lasting impact on popular culture, setting a template for future family-oriented sitcoms. It offered a glimpse into the aspirations and values of mid-20th century America, leaving an indelible mark on the way families were portrayed on television. Today, it remains a timeless representation of an idealized American family, showcasing the enduring appeal of its wholesome themes and relatable characters. In 1954, the TV series Father Knows Best hit the screens, but it struggled in the ratings and got canceled by CBS in March 1955. However, something unexpected happened. Viewers flooded in with protests, demanding its return. CBS gave in, moved the show to an earlier time slot, and gradually it became a hit. This series had its fair share of interesting connections. Herbert Anderson, Sylvia Field, and Gloria Henry, who had supporting roles in Father Knows Best, later went on to play major characters in Dennis the Menace. But there's a moment etched in history. On November 22, 1963, when New Yorkers were first getting breaking news about John F. Kennedy's assassination on WABC-TV, they interrupted a rerun of Father Knows Best, Man About Town, to make way for the unfolding news coverage. So, a show that started in a shaky place eventually found its footing, and its cast members left a mark on another beloved series. That's the intriguing tale of Father Knows Best. In the 1954 TV series Father Knows Best, one notable detail is the ambiguous location of the show's setting. While the town of Springfield was the backdrop for the Anderson family's adventures, the state in which this Springfield resided remained a mystery throughout the series. Interestingly, Altoona, a real city in Pennsylvania, was mentioned several times by characters in the show. However, it's worth noting that Iowa also boasts its own Altoona. The deliberate omission of a specific state added an air of universality to the show, allowing viewers from various regions to relate to the Andersons' experiences. Billy Gray, who portrayed the character Bud Anderson in the series, had strong opinions about the show's portrayal of family life. He believed that the scenarios depicted were unrealistic and had a negative impact. Gray expressed his concern, stating, "I wish there was some way I could tell the kids not to believe it. The dialogue, the situations, the characters were all totally false. The show did everyone a disservice." He felt that the show perpetuated stereotypes, particularly in its portrayal of gender roles, where girls were often encouraged to use their femininity to attract men. Gray concluded that Father Knows Best ran a hoax by purporting to be a facsimile of real life when, in fact, it contributed to misconceptions about relationships and communication. On a positive note, the character Jim Anderson, played by Robert Young, gained recognition beyond the show. He was ranked 6th in TV Guide's list of the 50 greatest TV dads of all time. Jim Anderson's character resonated with viewers and earned a place among the most beloved TV fathers in history. In conclusion, Father Knows Best left its mark on television history with its deliberately unspecified location, but it also sparked debate about the realism of its portrayals and the impact of such depictions on society. Despite the criticisms, Jim Anderson's character remains a beloved figure in the pantheon of TV dads. In the world of 1954 TV series Father Knows Best, there's an interesting connection to the past. The Anderson house, the iconic setting for the show, actually had a previous life as the home of Blondie and Dagwood Bumstead in the popular Blondie movie series from the 1930s and 42nds. This house is situated on a faux street known as Blondie Street. But that's not all. This versatile house had quite a career in showbiz. It later became the home of Dennis' grouchy neighbor, Mr. Wilson, in the 1959 sitcom Dennis the Menace. And as if that wasn't enough, it was also the residence of Tony Nelson in the 1960s sitcom I Dream of Jeannie. Blondie Street, where this house stands, is a real hotspot for TV homes, as it's also featured in Bewitched, The Donna Reed Show, Hazel, Gidget, and The Partridge Family. It's like the Hollywood home for famous fictional families. Now, shifting gears to the cast, Eleanor Donahue, who played the role of Betty Anderson, had an interesting journey during season 3 of the show. She was actually pregnant with her first child during that time. Remarkably, she continued to work on the series up to just 6 weeks before her due date. If you watch closely, in the second to last episode of that season, you can spot her pregnancy as she cleverly wore a box coat, hid behind objects, and was filmed from her shoulders up. Talk about dedication to the role. Lastly, a little contrast between the radio series and the TV version. The NBC radio series that served as the basis for Father Knows Best portrayed Jim Anderson as somewhat clumsy and slow-witted, often finding himself in embarrassing situations. However, in the TV adaptation, Jim is portrayed as a much wiser character, making far fewer mistakes. It's interesting how the character evolved when transitioning from radio to television. And there you have it, some fascinating tidbits about the 1954 TV series Father Knows Best. From the famous house to the dedication of its cast and the evolution of the characters, it's a show that's left its mark on television history. In 1954, the TV series Father Knows Best made its debut, becoming a beloved classic in American television. While there's limited information available on the show, we do have some interesting facts to share. The setting of the show is strongly suggested to be Springfield, Illinois. This inference is based on references made throughout the series. There are mentions of a wedding in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a new girl from Chicago, and even an episode where Bud's homing pigeon is released in Rockford. All of these locations are relatively near Springfield, Illinois, providing subtle clues about the show's setting. One noteworthy aspect of the series is that the Anderson children didn't age during the first season. Betty was 17, Bud was 14. And Kathy was 8 at the beginning of both the first and second seasons. This unique characteristic added a layer of consistency to the show's characters, despite the passage of time in real life. Additionally, when Father Knows Best first aired in 1949 on NBC Radio at 8:30 p.m. on Thursdays, it was sponsored by Maxwell House. However, when the series made the transition from NBC Radio to CBS television in October 1954, Robert Young was the only member of the radio cast to make the jump to the TV sitcom adaptation. While these facts provide some insights into the show, Father Knows Best remains a classic example of wholesome family entertainment from the 1950s, even if it's shrouded in a bit of mystery. Fallen fortunes, the heartrending farewell of Father Knows Best's cast member from Hollywood due to financial ruin in the golden age of television. Father Knows Best stood out as a beloved family sitcom. While the show enjoyed remarkable success, one of its cast members faced a deeply tragic turn of events. This is the story of how financial ruin forced a talented actor to bid farewell to Hollywood. The show's cast chemistry was one of its strengths, Robert Young, who played the iconic role of Jim Anderson, the head of the Anderson family, had a warm and fatherly presence. His on-screen wife, Jane Wyatt, portrayed the wise and loving Margaret Anderson. Their chemistry on and off-screen was undeniable, contributing significantly to the show's success. However, behind the scenes, a different story unfolded. Eleanor Donahue, who played the eldest daughter Betty, faced dire financial straits. Despite her pivotal role on Father Knows Best, her earnings were not substantial enough to secure her financial future. After the series ended in 1960, Donahue struggled to find consistent work in Hollywood. A heartrending farewell came when Eleanor Donahue decided to leave Hollywood behind in pursuit of financial stability. She took on various jobs outside of the entertainment industry to make ends meet. Her departure from the glitzy world of Hollywood was a stark reminder of the financial challenges that many actors face. Eleanor Donahue's story serves as a poignant reminder that success in the entertainment industry does not always guarantee financial security. Despite her talent and contributions to Father Knows Best, she faced financial hardships that ultimately led her to say goodbye to Hollywood. In conclusion, while Father Knows Best thrived on screen due to the chemistry among its cast members, behind the scenes, one cast member's life took a tragic turn due to financial ruin. Eleanor Donahue's departure from Hollywood serves as a sobering tale of the challenges that actors can face in their pursuit of a stable life outside the spotlight. As we bid adieu to the timeless classic of 1954, Father Knows Best, we find ourselves traversing the corridors of nostalgia, memories entwined with laughter, lessons, and the warmth of the Anderson family. This beloved series has etched itself into the annals of television history, not merely as a show, but as a window into the values, aspirations, and challenges of its era. As we reflect upon the idyllic days of Jim, Margaret, Bud, Betty, and Kathy, we can't help but marvel at the enduring charm of their suburban life. The unconditional love, the life lessons, the humorous mishaps. Each episode painted a canvas of family dynamics that resonated with audiences then and still speaks to us today. Perhaps it's Jim's unwavering wisdom, Margaret's graceful wisdom, or the misadventures of their children that struck a chord with you. Maybe it was the depiction of an era when values held sway, or the simple joy of escaping into a world where fathers really did seem to know best. Now, it's your turn to share. We invite you to reach into your treasure trove of memories and thoughts about Father Knows Best. What's your fondest recollection? Did the show leave you with life lessons that have endured through the years? Did it remind you of your own family experiences, or perhaps inspire a newfound appreciation for the simple joys of life? Join the conversation and share your reflections on this timeless gem. Your stories, your insights, your connection to this show are what make it all the more special. Thank you for taking this journey down memory lane with us. Your time and interest are deeply appreciated. We look forward to hearing from you and continuing to celebrate the enduring legacy of Father Knows Best. Warm regards, if desired.